Welcome to our presentation. I'm Helen, and this is Katrina, Crystal, and Alex. In this presentation, we'll look into the role of social media in the Occupy movement, both from the perspective of supporters and opponents. We'll also look into how to improve the public sphere with reference to the modern strengths and weaknesses. To begin, we'll look into what is Occupy movement. The Occupy movement took place on September 28, 2014. It is a political movement where people demanded for universal suffrage and also the rights to nominate chief executive candidates. There are generally three roles played by social media in the context of Occupy movement, and they are debates and discussion, communication, and information. The first role is debate and discussion. File chat enables users to communicate without internet connection but using Bluetooth. This photo illustrates how file chat was used in the context of Occupy movement. It helps to set up bottom-up agenda setting and increase people's political participation. The second role is communication. For example, using Facebook, by changing your user picture into blue or yellow ribbon, it indicates whether you support the Occupy movement or not. Furthermore, using Twitter and Instagram could also share your opinion and communicate with others. These social media facilitate communication purpose because they provide a platform for free and anonymous communication, which could encourage people to start discussion and communication more critically. The third one is information function. First, citizens can now take photo or video to record first-hand information. Furthermore, the emergence of new online media provides an opportunity for the citizens not merely relying on mainstream media anymore. Nonetheless, there are still limitations of the functions of social media. While for the internal limitation, people tend to listen to those opinions which they share the same value or identity towards the social movements, while for the opposing opinion, they may choose to remove or filter those opinions because the social media would enable them to do so. Besides internal limitations that are controlled by users themselves, there are also external limitations. For example, because of business purpose, businesses would utilize the personalization function, which might result in a bias when people are using social media. Another limitation would be the political environment and the geographical location. For example, this photo illustrates how the Occupy Central movement was censored by the mainland government, and the social media cannot mention this issue at that time. While for the anti-Occupy supporters, they also utilize social media like Facebook pages to express their opinion. They would also unfriend their friends who have opposing opinion with them, while for the government, they mainly utilize the press release to distribute their opinion online. In the reality, there was physical conflicts and verbal conflicts between the police, anti-Occupy supporters, and Occupy supporters. While for the government, they mainly rely on mainstream media, for example, holding press conference every day during the time of Occupy Central movement.
The relationship between social movements and social media is close. We generally agree in a large extent that these social movements would still take place even social media platforms were absent. The founder of eBay, Pierre Omidyar, believes in cyber-utopianism. Social media is a tool of liberation and empowerment. Its freedom to communicate openly and honestly enables citizens to express themselves. Also, it is able to connect people, ideas, and values. So regarding to his theory, without social media platforms, the Occupy or umbrella movement would not be present. Yet, we have generally disagreed with his theory. We have come to a conclusion. If social media platforms did not exist, the mobilization of demonstrators would greatly reduce. The Occupy or umbrella movement would still occur, but in a much smaller scale. The rise of social media facilitates the flow of information, enlarging the scales of social movements. Statistics shows that there were 1.3 million tweets about the Occupy movement in 4 days' time. Besides, at the height of the riot police operation, 12 tweets about images of protesters engulfed in tear gas were being posted every second and spread globally. These aroused people's awareness and attracted more citizens to join the movement. Therefore, in the absence of social media, people lack channels to receive details about the movements, but only government official statements. As a result, the Occupy or umbrella movements might be much less influential. It would be hard to mobilize people and gain support from others. However, the occurrence of these social movements basically relies on the prior efforts of grassroots organizations. Examples included scholarism and Benny Tai being the representatives of organizing the umbrella movement.
The public sphere dominated by the social media has its strengths. It provides for self-expression and promotes mutual understanding. It enables rapid formation of networks and demonstrates our common humanity across cultural differences. Meanwhile, the type and source of information become more diversified. In the past, the public sphere might only rely on mainstream media like TV and newspapers, while in these days, people can share and comment on a variety of social media platforms. Information becomes diverse and accessible, emerging citizen journalism. Moreover, the information can spread very quickly along with an influential impact. Under the public sphere dominated by social media, it enables people to receive latest information around the world. Since most of the people have smartphones and access to the internet, they can post the photos and videos to the social media easily. Everyone can be a journalist. The readers can have a full picture of an event by reading many posts and photos with different perspectives. They can generate a better understanding of what is actually happening in the world. Thus, it breaks the barrier of time and space, as people can share their opinions and exchange ideas in the forums and social media anytime and anywhere. Through it all, there are powerful exchanges happening in the social media, such as Twitter feeds and Facebook posts, with a free form of global personal communication in the modern-day public sphere.
Censorship is one of the problems. In some undemocratic countries like China, there are still barriers for people to completely participate in the discussion. Deleting comments is one of the most popular ones. Some bad news about the government will be removed in the forum. The discussion online may not provide a completely open space for everyone. This leads to polarization of opinions. Also, social media might be controlled by some government organizations. For example, in China, government might control social medias like Weibo to conduct censorship or control citizens' access of information. This might even lead to a control of their mindset and monitor their use of internet. To improve our social media public sphere, it is possible for the government or NGO to set up and host online public forum, so everyone can get access to the public forum and express their opinions. Social media websites may consider disable this function so that the people can express their view freely without being deleted by any people who shared different opinions. In some foreign countries, there is a website called Democracy OS. It has created an open source free software with an easy user experience for citizens to get informed, debate, and vote on every single bill. They are set up by NGOs concerned about the current public affairs. Citizens could freely express their opinions online and debate with each other. The government could even know citizens' opinions better through the platform. it is possible to have a more frequent interaction between the government bodies and the citizens. So as to create a better public sphere together, it is really important to think about each other stakeholders' responsibility in improving the public spheres online.